Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about The Crisis of the Negro Intellectual by Harold Cruse. Now, before I go into the summary and analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and/or comment so the channel can continue to grow. All right, The Crisis of the Negro Intellectual by Harold Cruse. Very interesting work here. Lots of things are happening within this work. Basically, Harold Cruse is saying here that the way for black people or for black independence, black liberation to truly be liberation, black people need a foundation of literature, of art, of their own way of thinking, of their own philosophy, of their own institutions of education, businesses, art. So freedom to explore and to set up the world in their ways. He doesn't agree with assimilation. He doesn't agree with just black people just being a part of the dominant culture. He says that it's not enough. It's not sustainable if black people just try to assimilate themselves into the dominant culture. Now, with this work, we're looking at the Harlem Renaissance. We're looking at the 1960s. We're looking at the time, the decades before the 1960s. It was a different America from today, 2025 America. There's a lot of critiques with Harold Cruse's work here, with this work. Yeah, a lot of people say that, he kind of overlooked the progress made between integration. There's a lot of black people, a lot of black businesses that, black people that work with white people and they produce wonderful things. They create wonderful businesses. The partnerships that come about, integration. I mean, nowadays in 2025, you have black billionaires, black businesses. There is opportunity. There is, black literature. There's lots of black writers and poets and singers and writers and actors, and businessmen and women who are black who are thriving within America. And there's lots of laws protecting black people, helping black people go to college, and pretty much every part of society is open to black people. There isn't a law that restricts black people from any type of business or opportunity or school of education. You just have to go based on merit in 2025 today. Um, but Harold Cruse within this work, the whole idea is, it's not integration, it's not assimilation, it's independence, creating your own schools of thought, creating your own institutions, and yes, there are black institutions out there. There are universities that are predominantly black. Um, that does exist. So there's a lot of critics that go against his works, and one thing that you can come by reading this work specifically is that it might seem a little biased, like the only way forward is independence, total independence from white culture, from the dominant culture. And the critics, pretty much, when it comes to this work, they say, well, Harold Cruse doesn't really provide a roadmap here to his idea within this work. He doesn't really tell us, well, if it's not assimilation, because he tells us within this work a lot of things he doesn't agree with. When it goes towards politics, Marxism, socialism, assimilation, integration, they're not it. So the work, he pretty much highlights this is not the way. But then what is the way? And if you know the way, tell us the way and how do we achieve it. So there's a lot of people that don't agree with his ideas within this work. Um, and again, you live in a culture that is extremely diverse. Now, yes, the population of the United States was very different in the 1960s and the decades before the 1960s. But it was you had black people, you had white people, and you had people from different countries and different backgrounds in different parts of Europe. So it was a very again, it was a very diverse country. So um, to to believe that you can just create your own um, subculture and that would be the only way, it doesn't stand on its own. It doesn't hold that much water. That's why there's so much critiques within this. Because, yes, when it comes towards politics, different groups are, within U.S. politics, groups are, just to make it very simple, groups are grouped together. There's the angelical vote, there's the black vote, there's the white vote, there's the Latino vote. Politicians know this, and they group different people together because groups of people usually vote the same way. And in the black community, you do have that. A lot of black people do vote. I mean, they term it the black vote for a reason. A lot of black people do vote for the same um, politicians. And I mean, it makes sense if you know somebody's going to go into office and help out your culture and help out your community. There's a reason why you might vote for them. It's the same way, people who have family members who are immigrants, they might favor more Democratic because maybe Democrats have more favorable legislation towards immigration. So there's different ideas and different ways of looking at things. America, some people say it's a melting pot, some people say it's not. Harold Cruse here within this work, he's saying that the way forward is separation, independence, and the forefront. The way that we achieve that is by building our own institutions, our own businesses. Um, that takes a lot of thought. I mean, Malcolm X had the same idea of black people owning black property because working for salary work, working for minimum wage. There's a limit to that. There's a limit into how much you can earn with minimum wage or salary work. If you're a minimum wage worker or salary worker, I mean, there's a lot of wealthy people who are salary workers. You get paid 100, 200. I mean, doctors are salary workers because, I mean, you have to go to whoever your boss is and talk about how much money you're going to get paid for the year. But if you have a business and it's a successful business, I mean, a company like Amazon, it's like how much profit can we make for the year? How much more can we expand? I mean, how much investments can we do? So there is no cap on how much the top executives can earn or the owners or the investors can earn because it's all about growing and making more money and establishing your business in different types of markets. And you can even use your investments to invest in other businesses to keep making more money. um, so there's a lot of points with this reality. It's just there is some parts of it we can say that it seems a little bit biased, like a narrow view of its independence, total independence, or bust. Harold Cruz also here. He's talking about when you talk about the Harlem Renaissance. He's like, there's not enough black intellectuals. There's not enough black literature. It's just we're not there yet. We don't have enough yet. We don't. And people don't agree with that. It kind of seems a little harsh because the Harlem Renaissance, you had lots of black poets and black writers and black authors writing and producing and creating things and music. And I mean, it was called literally the Harlem Renaissance. Come on. I mean, you had so many artists come out of that and literature come out of that and art come out of that. It was called the Renaissance. But he believed that, there needed to be more. So, in terms of deeper meaning and analysis, this work is an intellectual view of what the black culture needed, especially in the 1960s and the decades before that. Um, I, it's not really, I can't say this is a prophetic work in any way or if it came true because assimilation, integration definitely happened. Now in 2025, um, yes, there are black business, there are black institutions, but in America, it's all just, look at sports, look at basketball, look at football, look at music, look at films, look at art. It's different people of different kind. The judicial system, it's not even just white and black people anymore. Now you have Latinos, you have black people, you have white people, you have people from all parts of the world now in America, and everybody's building their own communities, and um, it's just a diverse culture. It's not just black and white. I mean, black people are not even the second largest. Like it's white people than Latinos. I mean, there's more Latino people in America than black people. So it's definitely different, a different country. And I mean, you have everybody in America: Asians, Africans, Latinos, white, black. So it's definitely a melting pot, we can say. This is definitely a work that requires debate and a lot of thinking, because there's several points we can look at here, and definitely a lot of critiques, because um, it's not 100% something that you can just agree with, because there's a lot of critics that don't agree with everything that he has to say, but he does have some good points. I do agree that one way you establish yourself and one way to get freedom in America as a group is to build your businesses, to own property, and to make your own money, and to not have a cap on what you can earn, because then that's when you can have a louder voice, I guess you can say. That's all I have to say about this work. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.